This next story brought to you by the letters M and F. John Calipari says he got caught up in the emotion. Cameras picked him up screaming, "Selfish, bleeper, bleeper," at Terrence Jones. Coach tweeted an apology after the game, said, "Doesn't matter what type of emotion it is, it's not an excuse." Cursing at a 19-year-old player, something or nothing, Bomani Jones?
Well, it's something for a couple reasons. Number one, he did it where all of us could see it, which qualifies as embarrassing your player in public, which is a problem. Number two, even if it were in private, you could tell from Terrence Jones' face that he was none too pleased about this. And the third thing is John Calipari is one of these coaches who gets really wound up tight, and it's come to his detriment in big games down the stretch. If you're this wound up and this tight against Alabama, what are you going to do when this team is playing the games that really matter? It will hurt the team more than it hurts feelings.
Blackstone.
Well, time was when we on the press row got to actually sit like right behind the benches or right near the coaches. Let me tell you something. What John Calipari had to say to Mr. Jones last night was absolutely nothing. I could give you a list of Hall of Fame coaches and what their salty language has been like, and you would not be surprised by what Calipari said. Or if you go to a college practice like many of us have been to and heard what coaches say. You know what? This is what people want. This is what people who produce television shows on sports want right now. They want even more reality. So when you put a mic on a coach, you put another mic on the sidelines, this is what you're going to hear.
You, Paige?
Well, you talked about it, KB. I sat behind John Thompson in a national championship game, and I couldn't believe the words he was using toward his own players. And I didn't have the same kind of respect for him afterward, and I don't have respect for coaches that feel like they have to use that language to talk to 19-year-olds. It doesn't happen in college classrooms. We can talk that way in bars or among ourselves, but that is totally disrespectful. And if I were the parents of a high school athlete who was considered Kentucky, I'd say, no, I don't want my kid being talked to that way. I don't want him being treated that way. I wouldn't do it at home, and I think he needs to clean up his act, particularly given that it is on a national stage. We can all hear it.
So what are you saying? You wouldn't send a kid to Kentucky because the coach cursed at him? What are you being so naive? Kevin thinks this stuff happens all the time. It's like you don't like the sausage. You don't want to see how the sausage is made. Guess what? In every gym, everywhere, that's how guys talk. That's how coaches talk. For one thing, everybody says Calipari doesn't coach. Well, at least he was doing some coaching there. I'll tell you that much. Again, I don't approve of the language in public and so loud everybody can hear it. But that's how these guys deal with players. And guys, he's got a guy like Terrence Jones, an amazingly talented kid who's averaging less than 2 assists per game. He's got a team that's not passing the ball around.
From Bomani's face, I think he wants back in.
Yeah, but not everybody deals with players like that, and there's never been a single thing in my life that's been done because somebody called me a mother anything. I'll put it like this. Unless we're going to let people talk to us like that, there's no way in the world that we can say it's okay. If it's their world, that's fine, but we don't have to act like that kind of behavior.
Well, that's exactly it, Bo. It is their world. This is the vernacular of sports. It's been going on forever. It will be going on, but the thing is now that we have cameras on every coach, every time he says something, we have mics on him, and so it all becomes part of everybody else's world. But this is the way it is.
It's still not acceptable, and I don't care. And Bill, you go back to what you were talking about. If my kid were going to be talked to that way, no, I wouldn't send him to Kentucky. There are certain words you don't use, and it's not George Carlin's 7 words you can't say on television. There are 3, 4 words you don't say to anybody because all it does is cause them to react.
What if somebody put a microphone on us in the press box or on press row? Guys, the sports writers talking to each other. That kind of stuff happens all the time. It's just the way it is.
Okay.
You're not 19 years old when I'm talking to you.
So what I'm hearing here is that maybe Mr. Plashke, Mr. Blackstone, needs some more motivation other than the mute, maybe some more colorful terms, or something like that to get through the show. I see how you work. We've been horny.